Hey everybody, this is the first of what will become a regular thing that we're going to be doing called service review. And basically, what's going to be happening is Monday mornings following our service on Sunday, I'll be reviewing our services, watching all three, and kind of just taking notes on where we as a production team can do better. So I just want you guys to know, like, the heart behind this is one, it's not to call anybody out, so I'm not going to bother mentioning anybody's names or anything like that at any point because that's not the goal. And two, that the goal is to just help us improve at what we're doing and help us do a better job to minimize distractions and bring in that worship experience for people. So I've taken some notes here on my phone, and I'm just going to kind of go through some things that I thought we did really well these past three services on Sunday, and some things where I think we can improve. And whether you were serving or whether you're not serving this past week, these videos are still going to apply to you, so please do watch them if you get the chance, just to get an idea of the things that we as a team can do better. So a couple of really good things that I felt like we did. The energy that we had on broadcast was great, and what I mean by that is when we're going through worship and the moment that the energy of the song that we're doing is really, really big, and we're switching cameras a lot and all that. That's awesome. What we don't want to see is when we have a really big song and we're switching cameras really slowly and staying on the same angle a long time. And vice versa, if we have like a really intimate, slow moment, we don't want to be switching cameras super, super often. So I thought that this past Sunday, we did a really good job at that. Also, our transitions were on point this week. We really did a good job as a team, transitioning between all of our moments at the beginning of service, in between songs, our vision moments, and right up to the message and post service as well. So I watched them, and honestly, all three services, we did a good job at transitions, keeping everybody in shot when they were supposed to be in shot for those moments and all of that stuff, which was really, really great. Um, our audio during third service was really solid. I went back and listened to the worship, and I think the mix that we had by third service was really, really good. So I'm happy with the way that it sounded. Um, so go back on YouTube or whatever and watch that if you want an idea of what we want it to sound like. The other thing is that our CG slides were really on point. So we weren't behind in our slides for worship lyrics or for the message or vision or any moments like that. So really good job at staying on top of those moments as well. A couple things that I'm going to point out, and I'm going to pull up some of the video clips as well, just so I can better explain what I'm talking about. We did have the occasional out of focus shot on screen, and so I know that you guys have all seen these moments before, but I just want to give you, pull one up here. So if I go ahead and play this, and we're going to get into it, make sure this is the right service. Let's see. Should be the right service. Let me find this. So there's a shot coming up here where we go out of focus, and it just wasn't ideal. So realistically, let me try to find another one. I must have written down that um, timestamp wrong, which is fine. So, the goal of what we're doing obviously is to minimize distractions. And so when we have these moments where we're consistently out of focus or you can't see the subject that's on screen, um, that's a big problem. And I know that we had several moments this past Sunday where the roaming camera had autofocus issues where it wasn't staying where we wanted it to. Um, but we just want to do our best to try to avoid that as much as possible. So when you're running a camera or our video directors, just try to stay on top of that focusing, because that is really, really important for us. Um, we're also having issues with the roaming camera and the LED wall. So if we go back and look at this moment here, Let me pull this up. See this flashing or this artifacting that we're getting on the LED wall here. It's something that we want to try to avoid. And obviously, this is not the camera operator's fault. It is just the way that technology works. And there are things that we can do to avoid it. But ideally, what we want to do is if you notice this happening in the shot, just try to get angles where um, this is avoided. So if the LED wall is posing a consistent issue, try to get angles, especially for the roaming camera, where we don't have the LED wall in the shot, or it's close enough to where the background is not going to be a huge noticeable issue. Because if I play this, like this is a static shot, obviously, but if I play this, you can see you'll be able to see the shot flashing, which is just not. You can see it flashing there, which is just not pleasant to look at. And if you're watching on your phone or your TV, it's very distracting. So again, nobody's fault, just the way that it rolls. Similarly, there's a shot up here where we have the projector in the shot here, and you can see like a second copy of everything on screen. And because our projectors are showing the same thing that's going to broadcast, you just end up creating this infinite loop. And so we want to avoid getting the projectors in the shot as much as possible. Couple of issues or an issue related to lighting. So this is something that we will adjust on our end, like in our midweek preparation, is that if you actually look here, this light is shining directly into camera two, and so we'll move that light so it's not a problem. We had some small audio issues in our second service. So if we go ahead and jump here, the end of Pastor Joey's video, he asks us to clap. And I just want you to listen to this real quick.
You're watching online, would you stand to your feet as Pastor Connor continues our series, Summer Book Club, and let's welcome him to the stage. Come on, everybody. Come on, let's do that.
Thank you.
You hear how that crowd noise just came in very suddenly? Um, it's pretty
Let's
jarring.
welcome him to the stage. Come on, everybody. Come on, let's
Quiet,
do that.
quiet, quiet, and then all of a sudden all that clapping comes in. And so we want to keep those crowd mics at a level where we can kind of always, especially during the sermon and message moments, where we can kind of always hear the ambience of the room, so we don't have to boost it for stuff like that. So when we, if the speaker asks people to, or does something that makes people clap, or asks people to um, say something, which happens several times this Sunday, we don't want to have to be scrambling to turn that crowd mic up. So especially during the message, we just want like a really nice solid ambient volume for those moments. Um, the moment here towards the end of service where Connor is finishing up the message. And let me try to get
People in here. Here right
this
now.
moment in.
I'd be
You can
naive to
see
think
right
that
here, so
everybody in here has
he's
accepted
kind
you
of
as Lord.
closing up, and the band's coming out, we're prepping, and we see Ryan come out here to pick up the podium. We can see band members coming around in the background. You can see vocalists coming around, and so obviously this is not avoidable in a lot of cases because that's just what's happening on stage. Um, but we do want to focus on the message at this point, and so anytime we have the opportunity to change camera angles or get a different shot to where you can't see the podium being moved or someone in the background, that's something that we want to take advantage of that opportunity. So that is realistically the majority of our issues. I will say that we did have some audio issues that it took us a couple services to um, get the audio to where we were comfortable with it, or it was where I felt like it was a good mix. And we had some minor things here and there that we can do a better job of preparing. Um, Realistically, it was a really, really great set of services. So I'm really happy with the team and how everyone did this week. Just some minor stuff here and there. So again, this is going to be a regular thing that we're doing, just a service review. So Don't take anything too personally. That's not the goal of this. I'm not calling anybody out. We're just doing our best to try to improve. So if you guys have anything that you need from myself or Pastor Ryan or PJ in order to do your jobs better, whether that's training, whether that's resources, just let us know, because our goal is to help everyone who's volunteering on our team feel like they know what they're doing, feel like they can do a good job, um, and ultimately help us create a distraction-free worship environment and online service. So thank you guys all so much for serving yesterday. It was, again, it was a great service. So I'm really thankful that everyone showed up and we were just able to knock it out of the park, so to speak. So thank you guys so much, and we'll do it. See you guys in the next service review.